So if you've ever been in a hobby store and bought a model kit in the past, I don't know, 15 years, you've probably...
Hey, welcome back to the Scale Model Experiment. This time, on this episode, we're going to talk with Sean Svendsen, and he's going to tell you about himself. This is his spot, and tell me what you got going on down here, Sean.
Well, James, first of all, thanks so much for coming to my humble abode. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm a fan of the channel.
Oh, thank you.
And
thank you.
It's great to welcome the audience into my place. So yeah, this is my man cave, and this is where I have my collection of model cars that I've built and die-cast things that I've collected, and then cool like memorabilia and just stuff that I like.
Yeah.
And kind of have it all down in one space. And so
he's a lucky guy to have all this.
Yeah,
for sure. First time I walked down through here, I was just like, wow. Because I've seen Sean's work at shows and Facebook and Instagram and the pages of Model Cars magazine, and and finally to see it all in person is just amazing. And your website, do you still run that website?
Yeah, it's that's a weird story.
Okay, but it is still.
I built that. I taught myself how to build a website, and I think it was around 1999 when I built that website. It's still floating out in cyberspace. Okay. Oddly enough, I tried to kill it, and for a series of reasons, I can't get a hold of it, but it's still alive.
I'll put a link in the description below.
It's like a zombie website, but it has most of everything I have built up until around, I think, 2014, which was maybe the last time it was updated.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So, take me around. You got...
So, let's see. Cool stuff like... so I did some work for a race car team. Actually, at one point, I designed the paint scheme for the Lista Ferrari team, and they had They had Momo sponsorship prior to that, and so as a gift, they gave me the driver's suit and a crew uniform from the Momo Ferrari. So that's the Ferrari 333 SP that ran at Daytona.
Oh, cool!
So that's pretty cool. And over here, I've got this is a collection of. Mostly Hot Wheels. There's some Atomica, Matchbox, some 1/18 scale stuff that I've done, or bought, actually collected over time. Some vintage Hot Wheels stuff. It's a collection mostly die-cast stuff. So, and I like all kinds of cars. Like I'm bad about just liking anything on wheels. So from tow trucks to like presidential limousines to Trans Am, vintage racing, like if it's got wheels on it, I kind of like it. So that means I want it all, right? So that's kind of a sickness. Over here I have, these are mostly model cars that I've built over the years, and this is like about 30 years worth of building. Some of the ones at the top, those are a little bit more like die-cast stuff, and what I typically do is to fill out the case, I'll have die-cast stuff in there, and as I build something, then I'll take the die-cast out and
throw it away.
Not quite throw it away, but save it for a future something. And then so I'll swap it out and put a model car in. So those are kind of holding space until I have something built to put in there. And then some more Hot Wheels stuff that I have.
Wish I had a couch in my hobby room. It'd be nice.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? These are the end tables are actually wheels from my Honda S2000. So it just ended up being a great way to store them in the wintertime.
Right.
So,
doesn't everybody have a set of tires in their hobby room?
Some more die-cast stuff. I did a lot of autocrossing for a long period of time, so I have one of my helmets. I got a couple different helmets from my days autocrossing. So that's an interesting story. So I used to have a Mazda Miata, and it got totaled in an accident, and I was able to get the motor out of it. So I saved the motor, pulled it out. I took all the internals out of it to lighten it up, and then I painted it and made a display base out of it. So I have a remnant of my Miata as a token. More Hot Wheels and die-cast stuff. Actually, this really cool Honda S2000. A friend of this built this for me. That's
Oh, really?
A replica of my actual car in like a little autocross diorama. So
Very
that was
cool.
a birthday gift that he built for me, which was really kind of cool. And the theme of the basement is like 50s diner. So when we bought the house, I was lucky enough that their basement was unfinished and I could kind of do whatever I wanted. And I was like, I want a diner. And so I got found this glass block at a garage sale and kind of designed a counter around it and kind of did an edge detail to kind of give it that 50s triple stripe look. Found the bar stools. So that's kind of that theme.
So tell my friends what everybody has seen of your work but didn't realize that it was you.
So if you've ever been in a hobby store and bought a model kit in the past, 15 years, you've probably bought a box with my artwork on it.
Right.
So up at the top, you'll see some examples. I've worked for Round2. I've done work for Revell. I've done work for Mobeus over the years, and I do the box art illustrations as well as I've done decal artwork.
And you built the actual model that's on the box.
Right, so that's a good example. So this was the Mobeus kit for the Hudson Horton for Mobeus. So I did the illustration, built the model. That's the one. Actually did the photography, designed the decals, and did all the box layout. And so that's me.
That's you.
So it's actually got my signature on it too.
Oh, sweet. I never noticed that.
Yep.
So how long have you been doing the box art, not just the box art models, but the box art illustrations?
I did that from the very first one that I did. So the very first one, actually, this is the first one I ever did. This was done for Model King, and it's the Kensal and Leslie Cougar. I think this was, let me check the date. So I've been working since about 2006. So this was one of the first ones what I did. Did the illustration, did the box. Actually, the models over there in the display case for that one. So
Very cool.
And then what's interesting about these too, a lot of people don't realize, even though they're meant to look hand painted, and actually they are hand painted, but they're all done digitally. So I hand paint them on a Wacom tablet with a stylus pen, but they're built in Photoshop. So they're done in layers, but they're painted to look and feel like a traditional oil painting or a gouache style illustration, but they're actually all digital.
Interesting. So, do you have a couple of models you can show me?
Yeah. What would you like to? I've got a few models.
I'll show you all of them in a minute.
Anything in particular?
Pick 3 that you're especially proud of, not necessarily from this case, but from the other cases as well.
Okay. So I pulled out a few of my favorites. I'll tell you a little bit more about. So this one is actually it's a replica of a real race car that Dodge ran in mid 2000s, and it's there was a series called the North American Touring Car Championship, and they ran a Dodge Stratus. It's built from a Brookfield Collectors Guild promo, and then I kit bashed it with a Tamiya Alfa Romeo touring car for the chassis and the wheels, and then scratch built some of the interior.
And that wing looks scratch built.
Yeah, it's scratch built. Actually, I built a buck and vacuum formed that shape. And then the graphics, I recreated all the graphics on the computer, and these are actually rub downs. They're not decals.
Those aren't decals.
Yeah, back in the day, you can't really get them done anymore, but you used to be able to get dry transfers made. And I had I was working at a place where I had access to that, so I had dry transfers made.
Can you turn it around?
Yeah.
Look at the back of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
So that one is one of my favorites.
Yeah, what else you got?
So I like to build muscle cars and street machines and kind of pro touring cars. So this one is my own take on what a sort of a muscle car modern version of what Dodge might have made in the 1970s if they had made a muscle car out of that. But
So what kit did you start with this?
so this is an MPC Dodge Monaco.
Okay.
It's the two-door version. I think later they ended up making that into the police car, the four-door version. But originally it was a two-door. And I wanted to build sort of a muscle car-like pro touring version. So it actually has the hood scoop. It's the shaker hood scoop from, an AMT Hemi Challenger. And I'd molded in the sort of the lip around the scoop to give it the right dimension.
Didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
So did you cut the hood and the hood scoop
Yeah,
out?
I just cut the hood out, and then with Bondo just kind of built the rim around the edge, and then that hood scoop is the kit part.
That's cool, and plus the spear that goes up the front too.
Yeah, I had to do a little rebuilding to kind of get that all in there, the right look. And then
neat graphic too. Did you design that graphic?
Yeah, the graphic is my own design, but it's kind of inspired by I think the Plymouth AAR Cuda had a strobe stripe like that.
Yeah. Can you turn it around and see the back of it?
And it's Hemi orange, which has a little bit of pearl in it, like the actual factory color.
Yeah.
Had pearl in it, so it's kind of hard to see.
I like the way you tucked in those exhausts too, right up against the bumper.
Yeah.
That looks good. What a neat concept.
Yeah, that was a car that I never really ever see get built. So I was like, oh, this would be cool to do something different with it. Kind of like a uncommon look. So that was that.
Very cool. What else you got?
So this one is one of the box art models that I built from Mobeus. So this is the actual model that was used in this
on the box.
This box right there. So that was.
Oh, okay.
So I did the box illustration, did the box design, as you can actually see. So I built this model to photograph it to use on the box itself.
That's awesome.
And what's kind of fun about this one is this is the original test shot. So if you look at it, it's got some differences from the production kit. One of them, noticing this window is a little thicker, and actually changed it in production, so that C-pillar is a little thinner than the actual. The other fun thing is if you look at this bed inside, you'll see there's a extra pillar there. That's not supposed to be there. That was a mistake. So when they tooled it, they realized, hey, we're going to get rid of that. So they took it out, and so there isn't one in the kit. So this is a sort of a one of one.
Yeah,
because it has all the mistakes in that never actually made it to production.
That's cool.
It's kind of cool.
Let's see the engine bay.
Yeah, it has so this is just built factory stock.
Okay.
It's just built to show, what it would look like out of the box.
So cool.
And then this one I'm really proud of. This is my latest build I just kind of finished. And it is the new AMT 21 Bronco.
Ooh.
And
I
last
don't know
year
if you guys
I
can
built,
see this, but there's carbon fiber on the hood.
Yeah.
There's pattern in the seats. I'm sure there's more. Keep going.
Yeah, so I had built if you zoom over here, so I built the Revell Stroke Bronco, and I really liked it, and I was like, oh, when they came out with it, he came out with a new one, I was like, oh, now I gotta build a match. So I've got the old and the new, sort of modern interpretation. So this is Yeah, you already pointed out the carbon fiber details because I wanted to have some sort of modern touches to it. So it has a lifted suspension, and I modified the suspension to all the suspension points so it sit a little bit higher, and then did some subtle weathering and detailing on it.
It's nice work.
And the interior's got sort of I'd added the sort of retro style
Plaid.
houndstooth
Yeah.
plaid pattern. And you can kind of see the dashboard. And then I wanted a tonneau style cover, so it's actually like white masking tape that's been cut and just kind of burnished down on there.
I've seen a few people do like paper mache to do that, but
Yeah.
you did it with tape, huh?
Yeah, it worked for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Other people have said, that's probably going to come apart, but I don't know. I've had it on there a year or 6 months, and it seems fine. This decal was really cool. That came from the Revell 70 Torino kit.
Yes. Yeah,
And
from the drag version, right?
Yeah, and I just really liked the retro style, and I thought it fit the theme, and the colors sort of matched. And I was really happy with the way that turned out. And the wheels are Aoshima aftermarket. They're actually made for like a tuner car.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they happen to be the right diameter. And then when I popped them in there, and I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. All right, I'm going with those.
So those aren't the kit tires, though, right?
They are the kit tires.
Oh, they're the kit
Yeah,
tires?
those are the kit tires.
Oh, very cool.
I just sanded the tread a little bit, make them look a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, a little mall crawling, right?
Yeah, and then this grill right there, that's a prototype part for an upcoming, it's a secret, but there'll be an upcoming version of the Revell Bronco, and it'll have those parts in it. So yeah. Oh, and then it's also got a 3D printed LED light bar on the front of it, which I had. That came from Fireball Model Works, right?
Yes, Fireball, right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a small part of his big collection. I'll show you the rest of his collection.
All right, go.
So what do you guys think of Sean's place? This is like heaven. Sean, thank you so much for having me over.
Well, James, thanks for coming by. It was a pleasure, and I'm glad you're able to see the place, and it was a joy having you here, and hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if you still here? Go ahead and watch the next video. Hit the subscribe button.